And welcome back to LSRTV, Intensely Twisted Sim. Get set for their final event of the 2014. We roll through and begin to close out Season 3 and final event of Season 3. I'm Jacob Seelman in for Evan Pasoko tonight alongside Petey Zeller, and certainly got a lot of action going on here tonight with the B-Car Series. Petey, a lot going on. Bobby Terrell, the most recent series winner, and getting ready to wrap up a season, break it all down. It's going to be a fun night, I think. We're about 406 laps away from crowning one more winner and getting ready to embark on Season 4 here to close out the B-Car season.
Definitely in for a good show tonight. The championship is all but locked up unless there are points implications, and everyone is just out here testing for next season, trying to get better and building forward on the future here tonight. I think that Bobby Terrell has brought another good piece here tonight, and he probably just wants to add another win to his record to just add to what has been an amazing championship season by Bobby. But he will not be able to just waltz into victory lane this week like he was able to at Chicago, because everyone has brought a very good piece to this race, it looks like.
It does look that way. The only driver to finish in the top 10 in every single race so far during Season 3. And we come tonight, it's going to be interesting. He's been perfect so far. It's not done yet, and still a lot of action to go as we roll through Kentucky Speedway, the Bluegrass State, as Terrell brings a 35-point lead into the event tonight. They see the Seattle Slough Memorial 108, so 108 laps from now, we are going to know who the winner and presumably Bobby Terrell being crowned the champion. But as we've seen on the service, anything can and possibly will happen. And Petey, one of the big things that sim racers all the time talk about with this series is the fact that Kentucky Speedway, especially this track tonight rather, it's very abrasive, very tough to drive.
Oh yeah, we will not be having the caution-free race we had last week. This race, you will have some wrecks here, because going off in turn 1, you do not drive on the very bottom, you drive one lane up, and we will see some people on fresh tires thinking that they are Superman and going down there, and when you go down there, you will get loose. And I think that should create some interesting action, and it's a multi-groove track through turn 3 and 4. You can run the high line just as fast as you can run the middle. And the low line is not very prevalent in turn 3 and 4, and the top off the track is a very bumpy front stretch, and it's just a very nice track we have here at Kentucky Speedway.
That it is, and you look at Bobby Terrell, how strong a season he's had. Don't count out Mike Kelly. If anybody's going to keep Terrell from victory lane tonight, we know the title's about locked up, but Kelly, 3 wins on the season. It's surprising he's not closer to this championship fight, but what we've talked about, Terrell just so consistent.
He has been very consistent, but last week going into the race, Mike Kelly looked like the consistent one. Last week before the race, he had a 1.3 average finish, and he missed the race. That's why he was so far back in points. I think he was 23 points back going into Chicago. And me and Evan were talking, and we thought Mike Kelly had a legitimate shot, but things did not go his way. And the ironic part of Chicago was the last car Bobby Terrell lapped was Mike Kelly, and it almost put the final nail in the coffin of Mike Kelly.
Yeah, so 35-point advantage about gives it to Bobby Terrell, and certainly an impressive championship season. But of course, a lot of variables tonight, Petey. What are you keeping an eye on?
I will be keeping an eye on um, I'll be keeping an eye on as I just noticed that Blake Reynolds has joined the server. Last week, before the rain came, he had a very fast car in practice, was one of the only few that could keep up with Bobby Terrell. He'll be making his debut tonight. I expect him to have a very strong run tonight. I will also be keeping my eye on Sergio Abella. Last week was his first start, and he came from almost dead last to finish third, in what was, needless to say, a very exciting race. Also, I expect to see CJ Lavere give Bobby a challenge tonight, and of course, you can never count out Mike Kelly. He always seems to find his way to the front.
Now, there's a battle that I'm interested to see how it plays out. CJ Lavere versus Bobby Terrell. I've seen that play out a few times this season across the iRacing service, and those two definitely two of the ones who always seem to put on a heck of a show. Excited to see 108 laps here tonight at Kentucky, just over 150 miles, 162 miles going to be the official distance tonight, and getting close to the start tonight here as we get set to roll. It's going to be fun to watch. I know that Kentucky Speedway, always one that puts up a lot of interesting storylines along the way. And Petey, as we look at the qualifying times right now, no surprise, Bobby Terrell on top of the charts once again. So it's like the coronation ceremony has just about gotten started here tonight in the Bluegrass State.
Even though Bobby Terrell's on the pole tonight, I do not think it will go without challenge tonight. Many guys have brought very good cars. Like I said, this is the last race of the season, so everyone wants to get a good race and get good momentum going into next season because, I mean, what's better good momentum than winning the race going into next season? So, going forward, Jacob, who do you expect to win this race tonight?
Oh boy, I think that's about a tougher call than any you look at, but I can't not go back to Terrell. I mean, he's just been so eerily consistent. Only one time this season he's finished even outside of the top 5, and that was still a top 10 finish. He's on the provisional pole right now, not quite done with qualifying, but pretty close. Sometimes you can't bet against momentum, and I can't bet against Bobby Terrell in the 14 car tonight. I think he runs it all the way to victory lane, and I think he closes out this Season 3 championship in style.
That was definitely a very safe call you made there. It's hard to bet against Terrell, especially these 1.5s where he's made his money this season. But I'm going to go with an interesting call, and I'm going to pick the guy making his debut tonight, Blake Reynolds. Last week before rain came, he was one of the very only cars that could keep up with Bobby Terrell. And I think tonight Blake Reynolds shocks the world and brings home the trophy.
Interesting call, and watching him qualifying right now, it's going to be interesting to see where he stacks up. If he's got any sort of speed tonight in that 66 machine, that could be a very, very interesting call. So, boy, I wasn't expecting that, and he clocks in 13th quick on his opening lap. So, obviously looking to see if there's still some more speed in that machine, but I'll give you points for going out on a limb. I stayed on the safe part of the limb next to the tree trunk. You went all the way out towards the sky on that one, Petey. I'm impressed.
Well, Blake didn't have the greatest qualifying run on his first lap. He hit the wall a little bit, but looks like he's gonna stay out after qualifying and practice a little bit, and I just expect to see him to run good tonight. He really impressed me last week, and last week I think he was my pick until the rain came, and I'm not going to change it. I'm going to stick with Blake.
Until the rain came. How often do you hear that on the iRacing service? Just a bizarre turn of events causing this race to be rescheduled. It's not often we see the service just flat go down on us. So it was an interesting turn of events, and I don't fault you at all for sticking with the pick. I think definitely very respectable. And now as we get set to grid, it looks like after all things are said and done here, we've been talking about him all night. On the pole in car number 14, it is Bobby Terrell with a quick lap of 31.846 seconds. To his outside in the number 24 tonight, it's Stefan Marinak. Row number 2, CJ LeVere, Scott Simley. Row 3, Scott Brotherton and Bobby LeVere. Back a little further in the top 10 on row number 4, the 51, Terry McEwen and Jeremy Bazemore. And rounding out that top 10, Petey, David Carrera and David Bowden.
And in 11th, we have Sergio Abella coming off a very impressive first start last week on the outside. In 12th, we have John Hensley. In 13th, we have my pick to win, Blake Reynolds. And in 14th is the number 67 of Brian Harvey. In 15th position, we have Jay Randall Watkins in the number 2 car. In 16th, we have Chad Schilling in the Carolina Panthers, number 35. In 17th, we have Mike Kelly, who is currently second in points. And in 18th, we have Louis Rodriguez. In 19th, we have the number 17 of Kevin Stone, and rounding out the top 20 is the number 8 Cheetos car of Paul Crumry.
Rolling 21st tonight, we got the 77, Doug Hebron. 22nd, the 57, Jeff Gilmore. 23rd, the 76, Gale Brooks. 24th, the 9 of Douglas Wyatt. And shotgun on the field, Stephen Herring in the 98. Those 5 cars do not take time, and that'll put us at 25-car starting field as it appears here tonight for 108 laps, just over 160 miles at Kentucky. I'm ready to go racing, Petey. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to see what these boys have got here in the Bluegrass State. It's a fun racetrack. It's a solid field, and I can't deny I think it's going to be exciting here throughout the race, not just here at the drop of the green flag, but restarts are going to be key.
Restarts are going to be key. Kentucky has been very infamous for bad restarts on the low line. Guys in the low line have historically spun their tires on the bumpy confines of the front stretch. But like you said, I'm just ready for this race. I've been waiting a week for this, and I think these guys have been waiting in their hauler all week, just ready to put on a show for the fans, because the championship's basically wrapped up. Everyone brought their best piece, and they're just ready to put on a show.
We're ready to put on a show here for the race fans. Want to thank all those who are tuning in to tonight's broadcast on LSRTV from the Kentucky Speedway. Just about set to put on what is going to be the final race of Season 3 for the ITSR Intensely Twisted Sim Racing Series. And as the leaders work into turns 3 and 4, it will be Bobby Terrell, the Muscle Milk number 14, leading the field to the green flag as the pace car, the iRacing Ford First Mustang, gets ready to look off turn number 4 and hit pit road. We're ready for a show. Pace car's off. Here we go. Terrell bringing him down slowly, 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 waiting for it, and he waits a long time. Now we're green. Green flag in the air. We're underway for 108 laps here from Kentucky. Gets the big jump, and it is a drag race for second. They're wheel to wheel as they head for turn 1.
The number 24 car and the 4 car side-by-side racing. Now, turn number 1, the 24, will get clear of the number 4 car, but that lets the 26 get to his outside. They race side-by-side for 3rd position as the 3 car waits in the wings to make his move. And it looks like the 26 car will get clear. CJ LeVere dropping back to 5th already.
LeVere, yeah, he is in a heavy battle as we got one car rim riding about 9th, 10th places. They're 3 wide back in the pack. Still, we keep an eye on the battle for 3rd, but it's getting dicey all over this Kentucky Speedway. CJ LeVere still under hot and heavy pressure. Scott Brotherton in the 3. He's on the attack as they head down the back straightaway.
And I'm starting to feel a lot better about my pick. He has come all the way from 13th to 8th now in this field as he races side-by-side with the number 25 car. And he will clear him going off in turn number 3, but that will open the door for Sergio Abella in the 129.
How about that drive for Blake Reynolds in the early going, all the way up to 8th position, plus 5 from where he started, and we are barely 2.5, 3 laps into this race, working lap number 3 as of the moment. Terrell, still your race leader. It's been fun to watch so far. We're seeing a lot of passing side by side back in the pack for that 10th position. John Hensley to the inside of David Correa. That's the battle for a spot in the top 10. And the 55, he's on the move off turn number 4. Hensley trying to take that spot away on the bottom.
One thing I noticed in this pack is Mike Kelly sitting there in the back of this pack, waiting in the wings. Reminds me of last week, sitting around in 17th last week, just trying to find his way through the pack and could not do it. So looks like same story here today, but today there's less implications if he cannot find his way through the pack, as they are still side by side for the 10th position. Now 3 wide as the 2 car of J. Randall Watkins thinks better of his decision, actually.
Yeah, Watkins took a wise path out of that one. That number 2 machine, now he sucks right back up to the back bumper of the 55 of Hensley, trying to shove him on by. He'll do that. The 55 is clear. The battle now is for that 11th position between Watkins and Correa. Make it a 4-car battle as Mike Kelly, David Bowden, they're in on this as well. Back to turn 2.
DJ LeVere has finally gotten back around in the 3rd position. He finally just got clear of the number 26 car of Scott Simley. As it looks, Steven Marinick is closing in on the leader, Bobby Terrell, and Bobby Terrell...
Whoa! That's tight. The 55 loose off turn number 4. He got a big shot. They were 4 wide coming through turn number 4. Somehow, Hensley hangs on to it. He's still 3 wide, 3 wide. They crossed the stripe. We're working lap number 6, and that was a scary moment for John Hensley. He got a pretty good shove from behind the 25 of David Correa. He wanted that spot back, and basically he said, here, I'm going to take it.
Well, these guys are sure working hard early. They know last week was caution-free, and they know that these early laps, you have to get all the positions you can because you don't know how long it's going to be green.
And we are still green, coming to complete 6 laps already as they're side-by-side, 2 rows deep. Correa and J. Randall Watkins going at it side-by-side into turn number 1 and getting into it as well. The 28 of David Bowden, the 6 of Mike Kelly. It's been a really solid battle as we try to go 3 wide down the back straightaway. That's not going to work.
Oh boy, they are 2 rows deep, pushing each other off into the corners, racing for that 10th position, and it is tight, and they're 3 wide. The 28 car goes low. They are 3 wide coming off the corner, but they all make it work, as they will still be 3 wide down the straightaway, and oh my goodness, and the 2 car looks as though he's clear, and now it's 28 and the number 25.
3 wide back to turn number 1 now as we've got the 67, Brian Harvey, looking down low into this. The 25 of David Correa going to be on the losing end. They're 3 wide down the back straightaway. They just will not give right now, and the 55 of Hensley's coming back in on this as well. He's side by side now, 3 wide to the top,
the 25
4 wide.
saves it.
Oh boy, it's tight off turn number 4 now. It's car on the wall. We're waiting to see. You knew that hornet's nest was going to break eventually.
I'm impressed they made it that long. 35 got the losing end of that. But man, the 25 car made one of the better saves I've ever seen. As you can see on the replay, the 25 got tapped from Mike Kelly. As the 35 was checking up, him and the 17 were not on the same page. The 17 just gave him a tap and he overcorrected into the wall, and looks like he didn't get too much damage. He should still be able to go back out there and produce some more excitement.
So working caution for the first time here, 9 laps when they get back to the line, going to go up on the board, and just as he's been so far all night long, Bobby Terrell, your race leader here at Kentucky Speedway, and he'll lead the charge down onto pit road. It looks often enough here at Kentucky that the track's so abrasive, every time you can get tires, you are absolutely going to want to do so. Going to have the longest run down the pit lane as he goes all the way to that number 1 pit stall. Stefan Marianak right behind him in that number 24 machine. Couldn't stay with Terrell on the early going, but we've got pit stops underway, Petey, and I'd have to imagine that it's probably going to be 4 tires and fuel for all the race leaders.
It should be 4 tires and fuel for all the race leaders, but I'll be excited to see if there's that 1 or 2 guys that say, hey, you know what, 9 laps in, no points implications, let's just take 2 tires and see if we can go on there and hang out early, as it looks like a few do. I cannot see the number yet. The 1 of Jeremy Bazemore takes 2 tires and gets off pit road first. Sergio Abella also takes 2 and get off pit road third, and that's just a drag race from that point on.
Yeah, it is. So we'll wait just a minute before we give you a rundown of the top 10 to get everything sorted out and back in order here. But we do know this, Bobby Terrell will have to bat from behind just a little bit in the Muscle Milk number 14 machine, as he was not the first one off pit road. And this is going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out, Petey, because now you've got a situation where you've got some guys on fresh tires, some guys not on fresh tires, and that opens up a whole new, or rather on lesser fresh tires, 2 versus 4. It's going to make this restart dicey. You and I talked about it before the top of the show. Restarts, you got to get all you can get, and right now I would imagine we're about to see some leaders. They're going to be going for it here when we go back green flag.
Yeah, and before the caution came out, Jeremy Bazemore was about in 4th, I think, and he is by no means a slow car, so same with Sergio Bella. Sergio Bella was making his way through the field. I think they should produce a good battle. Bobby Terrell did get out 3rd, it appears, though, so he'll be right there on the bumper of Jeremy Bazemore to try to produce some good racing here. Yeah, Bazemore 1st, Bella 2nd, Terrell 3rd, and then it's about the same order as they came in from that point on.
Just about looks that way, as it looks like the lights are out. The iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car, and Bazemore, Abella is going to be your front row when we go back to green. Terrell, Marianac in row number 2, Watkins, Lavere, row 3, Simley, Reynolds, row 4, Brotherton, Brooks, the rest of the top 10. Looking down the list a little bit, Brian Harvey, one of the notables, he's back in. Don Hensley 15th after the skid and save. And looking a little further down the list, Stephen Herring's come from the back. He's worked up 6 positions already, up to the 19th spot. So some comers and goers here in the early going, Petey. I think that's what's going to make the rest of this race a lot of fun, is you're going to have comers and goers for just about the entire night.
And 2 cars I noticed were flying through the field. One, Sergio Abella, and obviously he took 2 tires. He was up to, I think, around 7th before the caution came out. And 2, Blake Reynolds had made his way up to 5th before the caution came out. But now he will have to make his way through traffic, and Sergio Abella will have to try to hold on with the 2 tires as we get ready for the restart. Bring him down.
Hold on tight, as that front row is going to want to go in a hurry. Pace car hits pit road, but they'll bring him down at a snail's. Bazemore waiting on the green flag. Now it's in the air. We're back underway. He gets the jump. Terrell's coming to the inside. That's the battle for second as they head for turn number 1. 14, Bobby Terrell. Marianac. And oh boy, J. Randall Watkins got the losing end of that deal. He's back in 7th. He's really getting shuffled around.
5 car will return to the race now, but he just didn't go at all. He must have spun his tires, because on that restart, he just held up the traffic so bad there, as he is just falling like a rock through this field at this point. But Jeremy Bazemore hit his marks, and he is still your leader, pulling away from the field.
Yeah, pulling away by a good bit, almost 8 car lengths. How about Petey Wonder? Your pick is up towards the top 5. Now going 3 wide into turn number 1. That's not going to work. Blake Reynolds says, hey, I'm here.
Blake Reynolds, he just knows he has a fast car, and he wants to get to the front. He does not want to watch Jeremy Bazemore walk away, and he probably wants to get by Bobby Terrell before too long, because he knows that Sergio Abella is on 2 tires, and if Bobby Terrell gets by Sergio Abella and Blake does not, Bobby Terrell could very likely walk away. But Blake Reynolds will get clear of Bobby Terrell here, and he is now in the 3rd position as he takes it underneath the number 129 of Sergio Abella, as they will race side by side down the backstretch, and Bobby Terrell is waiting in the wings.
Oh, and I wasn't so sure that the 66 didn't give the 129 of Abella a shot right there. I saw some tire smoke going into turn number 1 the last time by, but here comes the 66. Blake Reynolds on the move. Blake Reynolds trying to clear down to the 8th stripe. He'll move into the number 2 position. But the problem is, though, he has got a full second to catch the race leader, Jeremy Bazemore. That's the battle. Back to turn number 2 as they're side by side for about 6th place behind. Scott Brotherton coming after Stephen Marianac.
And they are side by side again for second. Sergio Bell got a great run off turn number 2, and he's making that one. He is making Jeremy Bazemore smile in the mirror. He does Jeremy Bazemore definitely doesn't want Bobby Terrell or Blake Reynolds to get clear of Sergio Abella, because if he does, they have 4 tires, he has 2. As he finally gets clear of Sergio Abella, it'll be interesting to see if he can close on the 2-tire mobile of Jeremy Bazemore, or maybe Jeremy Bazemore knows something we do not.
Yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on the 24 of Marinac back in the back there. He's trying to work around the 3 of Scott Brotherton, who continues to pressure him for that number 6 position. Now Marinac gets clear in car 24. He's trying to go to work on Scott Simley for 5th. And now we're going to start to see, I think, the accordion play out here. We'll see how much Blake Reynolds, he cuts a 10th and a half off the lead. That last time by, the 66 is moving. He's coming to the front.
Like that same pack with the 77, 67, 55, and 6 that we were talking about earlier, racing wildly, and they're still racing like that, side by side, 3 rows deep, as they have found each other again, as these pit road cycles have taken care of themselves.
Pit road cycles have done exactly that. Now the battle for the lead's starting to close up just a little bit more. We'll see how much more 66 of Blake Reynolds can shave off at this time. He closes about another 10th, 7/100. It's down to just over 8 car lengths. They work back to turn number 1, and even Abella trying to close in. He's closed it down underneath a second. Bobby Terrell just lurking, doing what he needs to do. The battle's for second, though, down the back straightaway. Here comes the 129 in 3.
And if it looks like Sergio Abella's content to stay in line, because Blake Reynolds is almost dragging these cars to the front with him.
Oh! Bazemore about got into the wall. Or actually did get into the wall off turn number 4. There was a lot of tire smoke, and that's closed it to 3 car lengths in 1.
Jeremy Bazemore has been looking too much in the mirror at the cars closing in on him, and now they close in even more as he hits the wall. And that will prove almost fatal to him here, because Blake Reynolds is now knocking on the door, and he has 4 tires, and Jeremy Bazemore is now, as he dives it in low to turn number 3. They are side by side racing for the lead here at Kentucky. Blake Reynolds has a nose on him. Sergio Abella looking low, will not make a move, and it is too close to call at the line, and Reynolds got him by 4 1/1000ths.
Yeah, he did. Blake Reynolds by the thinnest of margins, and he's got the advantage off turn number 2, but now the 1 of Bazemore coming back on him, using the momentum on that high lane of the racetrack. Now here comes Abella. That's the battle for second. It's side by side, wheel to wheel. The 66 and the 129 now going to let the 1 get away again.
Must just be smiling, because he is getting a little bit of that lead back, but Blake Reynolds will clear the 129 and now is set on Jeremy Bazemore again.
Woo! He cut that about too close to call. Abella's got to be thinking, what did I do to deserve getting chopped like that? But Blake Reynolds on the march. He's battling for the race lead. Side by side down the back straightaway. He's got a fender. He's got half a car length. Here comes Blake Reynolds. That's the battle for the lead in turn 3.
Bobby Terrell has had enough of this. He makes it past Abella for 3rd, and he wants a piece of this action as they race side by side for the lead. And once again, Blake Reynolds has the slightest of margins on Jeremy Bazemore as they cross the line. Actually, Jeremy Bazemore led that lap, and now Bobby Terrell is in 3rd, waiting to make his move. Is the 66 and 1 race off into turn number 1?
And I think he finally cleared him. Oh, Blake Reynolds has got to be going, thank you. Here comes Bobby Terrell to the inside. That's the battle for second. Bazemore looking high, though. He's not done for the lead. I'll tell you, 2 tires is looking like a pretty solid call right now for track position, as they're 3 wide for second.
Man, and Blake Reynolds is not pulling away from Bazemore at all.
Oh, there goes Abella. He is way down to the apron, trying to hang on to it. Yikes.
He did save it.
He saved it, but he lost about 5-6 spots in the process, as this battle for the lead just will not. Bazemore and Reynolds. Here comes Bazemore to the inside. That's in turn 3.
Right now, it's just a battle of who wants it more, and Blake Reynolds gets a great run off turn number 4. Will it be enough to clear Bazemore? We will find out. Will he chop his nose off? No, he will not, but he is clear of Jeremy Bazemore going off into turn number 1, and Bobby Terrell is just sitting in 3rd waiting for these 2 to make a mistake.
Oh, absolutely. Bobby Terrell's a seasoned veteran. He knows exactly what he needs to do, and that's to not get caught up when those 2, if they happen to wreck. Because we're coming up now, going to be 24 laps complete this time by, so approaching the 1/4 mark of this race.
Blake Reynolds is starting to pull a little bit of a margin on Jeremy Bazemore. is they are still racing green here at Kentucky. And this has just been incredible racing so far, Jacob, is everyone in this front line could win the race right now. I think the 26 of Scott Simley has speed, Marinak has the speed, and I think Rivera has the speed. And I still think there's a few cars hiding in the back, like Mike Kelly and Sergio Abella, that can make their way to the front before this thing's over.
Well, we know Abella's got the speed. He's back there in 10th position right now, but he was running third before he went for a little bit of an off-terrain experience and was all the way down in the grass and on the flat, and it just wasn't good as we're 3 wide for third back in the pack. Hold on tight, boys. That's going to get tight. Bazemore, Simley, Marinak going at it. Off 2. Yikes.
And somewhere in all that, Bobby Terrell got through to second, but man, Blake Reynolds just pulled to a huge advantage now here from Kentucky as he is waving goodnight to the field. But Bobby Terrell is now in second, and he won't be waving goodnight for long because Bobby Terrell is going to hunt him down if it's anything like Chicago.
Now hang on tight. Don't be saying that Blake Reynolds has got the goodnight Gracie line already locked up here. Bobby Terrell, he's a seasoned veteran. He knows how to play the game, and he also knows that we've still got a lot of laps to go. We're working lap number 27. That is quarter distance here for Intensely Twisted Sim Racing tonight from the Kentucky Speedway as they work off turn 4 to complete quarter distance. Blake Reynolds, your leader. Second to Bobby Terrell. Third to Jeremy Bazemore for this instant, but Scott Simley's making the move back to turn 1.
And as we say that, Bobby Terrell is closing on Blake Reynolds. It's almost shades of last week as they raced for the lead last week. Bobby Terrell waited around in third for things to spread out, and he makes his way up to second. And now he's catching Blake Reynolds, and it just seems just like it was last week with Jeremy Bazemore.
Yeah, Terrell's coming. I told you, Petey. He's a veteran, and he knows exactly what to do and when to do it. And right now, he's closing on the race lead. 28 laps going in the books this time. 80 laps to go here in the Bluegrass State, as now Scott Simley in car 26. He is moving to try to catch these top 2. Up to third, Bazemore, Marinak, the top 5, and David Bowden's made a nice run back there in the 28 car. He's up to position number 6.
DJ Oliveira's been free-falling a little bit this whole race. He's all the way back to 7th from 3rd. And I think he might just be a little tight here, but I wouldn't count him out. As the race goes on, he may catch back up, and I think this is far from over for him. And as I look back in 8th, Sergio Abella has already made his way back to 8th as he fell back to around 13th when he has off-track experience.
Yeah, and we were just talking about off-track experiences. I think Blake Reynolds just about had an off-track experience, wiggled, and it was 45 degrees sideways down the front straightaway. That's allowed Terrell to close right up to the rear deck lid of the number 66. It's the battle for the lead in turn number 3, and Scott Simley even in the 26. He's closed in.
Bobby Terrell is licking his lips as Blake Reynolds has made a deadly decision here. You do not give Bobby Terrell anything because Bobby Terrell does not make mistakes, but if you make a mistake, Bobby Terrell will be sure to accelerate on it. And here is Bobby Terrell going to be racing for the lead with Blake Reynolds as they close in on a lap car of the number 9 car.
Doug Wyatt, that's the next car that's going to go a lap down. He pulls safely to the bottom side of the racetrack, and he'll fall 1 lap in arrears to the battle for the race lead, which is working off turn number 4. Side by side, here comes Terrell to the inside.
And Blake Reynolds will have none of that as he gets clear of him coming off turn number 4. And they will still be racing into turn number 3. And look who has closed up to the battle. Scott Simley has invited himself to this party as Stephen Marinak is waiting, and those 3 kind of pulling away from the field, but Stephen Marinak is still closing.
Yeah, I don't know when Scott Simley found a party invitation, but he is right there on this train as Terrell looks to the inside again. 32 laps going in the books this time by, and quickly, we were just quarter distance a few laps ago. We're already closing in on the 1/3 mark of this race, coming up around lap 36. We're about 4 laps away from that right now as the battle for the lead heating up again. Terrell's got another charge in it.
One thing about this league is these guys race fast, clean, and hard. Last week I went on that race, and the way they were racing the early laps, I thought they were going to wreck every lap. But boy, do these guys just know how to race so hard and clean. As I say that, they are side by side, door to door for the lead again as they head off into turn number 1. Terrell and Reynolds. Terrell has the advantage going into 1, but will Reynolds get the good run he usually gets off 2? As Terrell gets a little loose on the bottom, but he will pull back even with the 66. And 66 gets the wall a little bit. And Terrell's to the lead as now the battle's for second.
Nah, it's not even a battle. Scott Simley took advantage of Blake Reynolds tagging the wall off turn number 2, and he'll say, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. He moves to the second position, drop Reynolds back to third, and I wasn't willing to use the Goodnight Gracie line with Blake Reynolds. I'm willing to use it right now with the 14 of Bobby Terrell as we go on board with the 66 of Blake Reynolds. There is damage to that number 66 machine, Petey, and it may be hampering that race car.
I'm sure he wants nothing more than a caution right now because, like I said, it's his first race. He probably got a little excited. He probably saw the lead, and he's like, it's my first race. I could win this thing. And then he had the seasoned veteran in his mirror. As I say that, he hits the wall hard again, and CJ Lavere is right, and the 66 spins on the front stretch.
Yikes. That is not what he needed to see, and that's going to draw the second caution flag on the night right here at 1/3 distance. 36 of 108 laps complete for ITSR at the Kentucky Speedway, and as the field slows here, Bobby Terrell, the race leader, Scott Simley to second. If that's going to elevate, I think, no, Reynolds, I think, is going to hang on for third under the caution, but yikes, we just had a lot going on here, Petey, and 2 separate incidents bring out the second caution flag.
Looks like the 129 of Sergio Bella making his way back through the field. He spun out and hit the outside retaining barrier and looks like his car just rolled down the track, and he collected, I cannot catch the number on that car, let me look. He collected, I think it was the number 77 got part of that. And CJ Lavere has some heavy damage, and it's going to be hard for him to be competitive in this race again.
Yeah, Lavere in trouble. That was Doug Hebron getting collected in that. The leaders are going to head down pit road, and we are going to head to a pit stop as well. Take this opportunity to take a break from Kentucky Speedway. This is Intensely Twisted Sim Racing on LSRTV. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to LSRTV from Kentucky Speedway and the intensely twisted sim racing ITSR Season 3 B-Cover Series finale. 108 laps around the Bluegrass State, and right now...
And as we come back, Scott Simley has taken the lead for the cycle of pit road stops here today. And Steven Marinak came out in second position, and you might be wondering why the 35 car is in first, it appears, but he is actually just getting his lap back from an earlier wreck. Good to see him get back out there. And before the caution came out, you may have noticed that Blake Reynolds had some pretty bad damage after hitting the wall from the lead. He has brought his car down pit road, and he appears to have most of it fixed, so it'll be interesting to see if he can come back from 19th to battling for the lead, because he had a very good car before he hit the wall there.
He did have a good car, and it's going to be interesting to see how this shakeup impacts things, as Scott Simley going to get ready to double up, and he'll be the race leader for the restart. This is going to be fun to watch. Simley the leader, Marinak up to second, Bazemore, Terrell, Bowden now the top 5 Edie, and how quickly things change. A couple laps ago before the caution, Bobby Terrell was gone. Now he's back in traffic one more time.
This race has just been nothing but excitement. We've seen about 4 different guys leading the race, and they will pull away, and then everyone will just catch back up, and it's just a spectacular thing to watch here. But now we have Simley and Marinak, 2 of the cars that were catching Terrell before the caution came out on the front row. We've had 3 different restarts here with 3 different leaders, and it should just be insane with the top 5 here. All have been very fast all night. And Sergio Abella has been given an EOL penalty, so he'll have to fight his way back through this field again.
Yeah, Abella just can't catch a break tonight, so he'll restart from the 19th position as Simley the leader, Marinak second, Bazemore third, and that's a position that Bobby Terrell's not quite used to, I don't think. Back in traffic for about the first real time tonight. We've not seen it very much except when pit strategy was pulled earlier on in this race, so we'll have to see how quickly the 14 Muscle Milk machine can fight his way back to the front. Pace car off of corner number 4, and the iRacing Ford First Mustang going to make that hard left turn onto the pit lane and leave the field in the hands of Scott Simley, who's waiting on that green flag as they work off turn 4 down the front straightaway. Here comes Simley, green flag in the air, we're back underway.
Simley with a great restart, as we've seen all the leaders do tonight, as he will go off into turn number 1 with the lead. The real battle is for third. Bobby Terrell and Jeremy Bazemore racing for third here today. And the number 2 of J. Randall Watkins is waiting for contact. And look at there in 6th, Mike Kelly. We haven't seen him all night, but like I said earlier, you can never count him out. He always has such a fast car, and usually finds his way to the front before the race is over, as is the case here. Mike Kelly has somehow made his way through all these cars.
Yeah, he has, and he's made a nice drive up here to the battle for 5th. He goes 3 wide. He's kind of hovering back here behind the Jeremy Bazemore machine right now. He'll look to the inside as they work down the straightaway and try to move here through turns 1 and 2. It's Kelly now battling for that 5th spot with J. Randall Watkins. Watkins just got... Bazemore had a nice run on the outside.
And Mike Kelly will be on the outside of the number 2 car of J. Randall Watkins, as he will get a run off of turn number 4 as they will battle side by side, door to door for the 5th position here. Mike Kelly can never be counted out here. And Jeremy Bazemore is in 4th, and that will be the next car that Mike Kelly will have to set his targets on as soon as he can clear the number 2 car of J. Randall Watkins. And the number 1 car is trying to close in on Bobby Terrell as the battle for the lead continues on here with Steven Marinak and Scott Simley. Scott Simley has took the lead on this restart and never looked back, but Steven Marinak has not allowed him to pull away yet. As we have a nice little 3-car battle brewing, the Bobby Terrell doing what he does, waiting in the wings, waiting for something to happen. Last run it was Blake Reynolds hitting the wall. This time, who knows what it could be. Bobby Terrell knows when it's go time, and apparently it is not go time yet for Bobby Terrell. Is number 24, Steven Marinak's going to look low on the number 26 of Scott Simley for the lead here from Kentucky as they race Down the front stretch here at Kentucky Speedway. Very exciting racing going on here today. And the number 24 is starting to get a little bit, number 26 starting to pull away from the number 24 car here from Kentucky Speedway today. Bobby Terrell starting to lose a little bit of sight on the field. We do not normally see that, but maybe he's just saving his tires like I've seen him do in the past. Number 1 car of Jeremy Bazemore is still in 4th, and in 5th is number 6 of Mike Kelly, who last week had a very unlike Mike Kelly run. He just didn't run up front like we're used to him seeing. I think he finished 13th, which all but ended his championship run. But here today, he is trying to make back for his mistakes as he closes on the 1 car of Jeremy Bazemore here. And it's been a very, very interesting race to say the least for Mike Kelly. He's had to drive his way through this field of cars, and he has stepped up to the plate here today. As we have another car take it behind the wall. Oh no, we don't. Never mind. As we have a nice side-by-side battle here for 13th. We have the number 25 car and the number 67 racing side-by-side for 13th. They hit doors as they race off into turn number 3. The number 67 will clear the number 25 as they head off into turn number 4. And as I look back, I see the number 15 car of Blake Rounds. Looks like he's made his way through a field of these cars here. He had a very, very superior car before the caution came out. It seemed like he was going to battle for this win, but he just got that wall twice very hard, and I think it's took a number on his car as he catches up to the 51 and 25. And he is on the outside of the 25 here as they are door-to-door, side-by-side racing from Kentucky, and he will clear him as he will now set his sights on the number 51 car. Let's check in on the 129 of Sergio Bella also, another car that had a penalty that's having to back. He was very fast also before the last caution, as he is in 16th. He's had a lot harder time making his way through this pack. Maybe he's just saving his stuff, getting ready for final run, because he knows that these cautions are most likely not over yet, as they are still racing all over this track. As we will check in on the leaders here now. Spent a couple of laps, and Mike Kelly has made a pass for 4th here. As he finally gets clear of the 1, he will now set his sights on Bobby Terrell. And the 3-car battle for the lead. The number 24 car is underneath the number 26 as they race side by side. Bobby Terrell is now on the outside of the number 24. And number 14 will clear the number 24. Bobby Terrell is up to 14th here as he will race off of turn number 4. He is trying to catch the number 26 car of Scott Simley. Scott Simley has not been able to pull away from cars at all since this restart, and now he has the veteran Bobby Terrell in his mirror. He does not know what to do here. The veteran is in his mirror. He knows he has the better long run car, but can he hold Terrell off until the long run comes? And they have bigger problems because here comes Mike Kelly closing on the pack. As this is a wonderful 4-car battle for the lead. Make it 5. Jeremy Bazemore is not going to let himself get excluded from this party. As Mike Kelly pulls up to the bumper of the number 26 car, and the 24 will pull up to the bumper of Mike Kelly. They are racing very close and intensely here. And Mike Kelly is going to look to the outside of the number 24 car. He cannot make the move yet. And this is just spectacular racing. These guys always put on such a great show here at the Kentucky Motor Speedway and the Seattle Slew Memorial 108. These guys all want to finish first. There's not much on the line besides a win here tonight. There's not much on the line here today besides the win, because the championship is already decided, and Mike Kelly knows that. He missed his shot as last week. He wants to make up for the win today as they're side by side for the lead. Bobby Terrell's underneath Scott Simley. Scott Simley will battle back on the outside as they race side by side, door to door, off into turn number 3. And this is just a great battle, and Bobby Terrell has cleared the number 26 car of Simley. Will he slide up in front of him? He will. And Bobby Terrell is now your leader, retaking the lead he once lost. And Bobby Terrell has now taken the lead back, and the number 24 car is looking to get by the number 26 of Scott Simley here as Mike Kelly just waits in the wings to try to take his shot at this. And they're just putting on a heck of a show right now that I am just amazed with here. And we're going to keep our eyes glued to this battle, as there is not much else going on around the track right now. As Bobby Terrell is looking to pull away a little bit from the pack. And man, that was just an amazing battle for the lead we have there. And Mike Kelly is looking for a way to get around the number 24 car, because he knows he might have something for Bobby Terrell if he can find his way around the 24. This has just been great. And they kind of leave the number 1 of Jeremy Bazemore. Looks like he's falling back a little bit from the pack here, as they still continue to race pretty close to the top 4 do. And it's just been fun to watch these 4 duke it out of Kentucky, all 4 with great cars and just keeping their heads on their shoulders. And it's made it a lot of fun to watch here. Bobby Terrell's starting to pull away a little bit now, as we welcome to the booth Evan Pasoko. Glad you could join us, man. Always great to have you in the booth.
Yeah, we're going to give you a second to catch your breath there, Petey. Jacob working on some sort of technical issues with his microphone, and my system was not necessarily cooperating with me all that well. So you had to go on there for quite a bit, but we are racing at the Kentucky Motor Speedway under the lights, as we have closed in on the halfway point here. Race leader Bobby Terrell sits with 0.3 of a second over Scott Simley in second. Stefan Marinak in the third place machine, number 24 car, not too far off that 26 of Scott Simley, as they continue to work on this green flag run right now. We sit with 18 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is the 57 of Jeff Gilmore, and he is now letting the leaders know that he's going to yield high down into 1, because race leader Bobby Terrell comes about to put him 1 lap down. So that will cut Bobby LaVere down. Bobby LaVere is going to be the last car on the lead lap. CJ LaVere, obviously we've seen Bobby a couple times here competing in a warm-up session, but has not competed for a full-length race yet, so good to see the number 5 car out there tonight.
It is great to see the number 5 car here tonight. Let me tell you, Evan, you've missed an awesome race so far tonight. We've had 3 cautions, and it has just been door-to-door, side-by-side racing all night, and that hasn't necessarily been these 4 cars. There have been comers and goers. It's just been insane, and you picked a bad night to have computer problems, Evan, because these guys came to play tonight.
Yeah, I've been listening to the audio, and it sounds like it's definitely being a good one along the 3-wide battle. And Kentucky Motor Speedway, again, it's such a challenging track, and I personally don't like to drive it because it's hard to drive, which means that the racing is going to be that much more exciting. So once you go under the lights here, you go to a night race, they get that little bit more grip. These guys really want to get wild. And also, this is the final race of this 3rd season, so the 3rd segment on the 2014 campaign comes to a close tonight. So everybody is really playing. I mean, the championship already pretty much determined, as Bobby Terrell sits P1, but everybody's trying to get a win, and I know you guys touched on it at the top of the broadcast, was getting a win here to close out the season. Even if it doesn't gain you any spots in the championship points, it'll give you momentum, and momentum in racing is always so key.
Yes, it is key here. Bobby Terrell is starting to pull away from the field again, and he just wants to keep the Miami areas going, but we've hit on it a lot these last 2 races, Evan. That last week, Mike Kelly ended his championship run by not having the Mike Kelly-like run. Sitting in 4th right now, looks like Mike Kelly has got a little bit of his magic back here.
Mike Kelly running solid right now. The number 6 Ford sits in position number 4 after starting back in 17th spot. So he has made a significant improvement from the start. To know he really didn't nail that qualifying run, but he definitely has a fast machine. He's showing it right now as he rides 4th on the racetrack right now. Interesting to see. It looks like Scott Simley, he's slowly pulling some time up on Stefan Marinak. It was about 2 car lengths that separated those two not too long ago. And now Simley, although he continues to sit 4/10 back from Bobby Terrell, has been able to put about 0.3 of a second on Stefan Marinak, maybe trying to just slightly inch forward from him, gain some, insurance there on those 2 spots as they continue to ride 2nd and 3rd. But 4th place, Mike Kelly, although he is running solid, he has essentially lost touch with those top 3. Top 3 seems to be the magic number that they start to pull away from the rest of the field, and they're able to get, obviously, the better runs there. So Terrell running strong right now, and we believe we have Jacob Seelman back up here in the booth.
And as I check in on the number 66 team, they have confirmed with me that their car has received too much damage from that contact with the wall. His vehicle is still able to go out there and turn laps, but does not have the same magic as it had before. And he said he does not expect his car to get back up front, and that's a shame. He brought such a great piece here to Kentucky, but now it seems as though his car is just destroyed. But it's the complete opposite for Sergio Bella, who had to go to the back. His car is still intact, all fine, and he is working his way through this field all the way up to 14th from 21st on that last restart. And Sergio Abella is looking to find his way back to the front where he once raced for the lead with Bobby Terrell.
We're going to drop down to 16 cars on the lead lap because Bobby LaVere has come down pit road, and we talked about it, PD, that it was good to see him running out here for the full distance, and he's actually brought it down pit road and has left the race. So after running pretty solid, that's going to drop him back to about P21, maybe P20, as a couple of these guys that are multiple laps down, the 5, the 57, the 35, and the 8 are still, and now we have trouble one car around. We're hearing maybe the 66 machine.
The 66 is around off turn 4, saved it. He saved it twice in that corner. 2 unbelievable saves by the 66. Bizarre turn of events here, and it looks as though the damage may just be too much handle as I watch him go in the next corner. Maybe he has a tire going down. I do not know. He almost lost it twice there. Laura will show a replay here.
Yeah, he caught the wall down into 3, and that safer barrier does kind of jet out from the wall just a little bit. And he rode it too high, got him about 15, 20 degrees sideways, not once, but twice. And actually a very great save by Blake Reynolds to keep his thing. Oh, and now he's hard into the wall, and that might do it. He's hanging on to it. He still keeps it pointed straight.
Man, Blake Reynolds has saved this car 3 times in the last 2 laps. It's been spectacular watching him save this car, but I think he may have a tire going down. That car seems to be very, very loose here, as he will try to dive underneath number 35, but that's a risky move to make with maybe a tire going down for the 66, as he just has been having problems these last few laps.
Yeah, so he caught the fence, and that last time he got into the wall of the corner number 4 was pretty violent. He's been able to get in line, and whoa, Lello goes to the bottom lane because the 57 of Jeff Gilmore, the first car 1 lap down, was up there, so he had to take evasive action. He is racing for position with Chad Schilling, who essentially sits right up on his back bumper in the corner. So although Blake Reynolds has caught the wall pretty significantly, he continues to try to make it to what he hopes would be a next caution flag period, because obviously losing significant time. You see he's trying to get a handle on it down into 3. The car just wants to go everywhere but forward. The 35 takes a look to the outside lane at a corner number 4. Does he go for the crossover again? Sideways, just having trouble. That 66 machine is wicked loose, and Blake Reynolds somehow keeps it pointed the right direction for the time being.
Amazing how that car went from racing for the lead and pulling away from the race to now loose and racing for almost dead last here. It's just a shame. Such a great car start this race is now that great. As we have Bobby Terrell is now starting to get a challenge. Scott Simley is starting to catch him as oh, he saved it again, but Bobby Terrell is now getting a challenge from Scott Simley as Scott Simley closes in on Bobby Terrell, and we have Jacob Seelman back in the booth.
Yeah, we do, and I'm watching this battle just like you and Evan have been the last 10, 15 laps, and that battle for the lead is still hot and heavy. Terrell holding on to it, but Simley, he wants to make a move. It's a battle I've seen a bunch across the service this season. These two of the best, and Scott Simley, he's not ready to give up this fight tonight. 69 laps being worked right now, so when we cross the stripe, we are going to have just 39 laps to go. It's getting down to crunch time here as Terrell, the muscle milk number 14, leads the 26 of Scott Simley into turn number 3. That gap's still about 3 car lengths.
As they race spectacularly around here through turns 3 and 4, these 2 cars have pulled away from the field, and they have said, we are going to be the 2 cars that race for the win here if all things go green. As they race off into turn number 1 and 2, Bobby Terrell is not able to pull, but Scott Simley is not able to catch, as they just race so hard here and giving it all they got in the final race of the season, knowing that whoever wins this will have the momentum heading into the next season.
Absolutely right. Terrell wants to ice a championship with a win, and Scott Simley hanging on tight, trying to take the win away. Bobby Terrell, though, it's about that same 2-car length gap that it's been the last 5 or 6 laps as he leads lap number 70, puts another one up on the board. We head back to turns 1 and 2. That's where the action's at. Everything else is really settled out just about single file.
Yes, it has, as Brian Harvey has made his way up to 8th. He has just drove his way through this field so far, from 14th to 8th in this race. It's good to see him get up there. He had a lot of trouble these last 2 weeks, but he is now up there racing relevantly well again. And the real battle, though, right now is for 5th, as Mike Kelly and Scott Brotherton are going to try to settle the battle out here at Kentucky, as Scott Brotherton has closed in on Mike Kelly.
Yeah, he has, and that battle for 5th is going to be the one we're keeping our eyes on here in just a minute, but it's 5th and 6th, 1 and 2. Still this battle for the lead going on as we come to complete 2/3 distance, 72 down. This time by, it's just going to be 36 laps to go as we cross the stripe, put another one up on the board. The battle for the lead goes back to turn 1, but the battle for 5th heating up once again. Kelly and Brotherton going at it.
Mike Kelly is trying to hold on to a top 5. He wants the top 5 bad. He knows he underperformed last week, and he wants to get back here and challenge for victory. And challenge for victory, he needs to stay in the top 5 of caution. Should come late so he can get a good pit stop. As Scott Brotherton knows that's important also, he is going to try to race for 5th. And this has just been a great battle between these two. Actually, it was a 3-car battle earlier, but the 2-car of J. Randall Watkins is starting to pull away a little bit from the battle, as it is really just a 2-car battle now between the number 6 and the number 3 car.
Now we watch that battle start to settle itself out for a moment. Mike Kelly trying to assert about a car length and a half as the battle for the lead is chilled now as well. Bobby Terrell pulling out to about a 7-car length lead over Scott Simley. He wants to say goodnight, Gracie. Coming around this time by, it'll be 34 laps to go. That gap continuing to grow. 5-car lengths now, a little bit more as they cross the stripe.
Yes, as they put Jeff Gilmore another lap down that next time by, as they are racing just their tires off here at the bumpy Kentucky Concords here. And Blake Reynolds is hard into the wall again here from Kentucky. And boy, has bad gone from worse to Blake Reynolds here, as he can just not catch a break. As he and Louis Rodriguez, Bobby Terrell is about to lap those two coming up here in the next lap or two. And man, my heart hurts for him, because I know what it's like to have a car that can win and all things go bad.
Yeah, and keeping an eye out. The 3 into the 6, that's the battle for 5th. I was just looking back there. Scott Brotherton and Mike Kelly, they're going at it. Brotherton's got the advantage in 1.
As Brotherton will clear and use the lap car as a pick on Mike Kelly, and Mike Kelly falls back to 6th position here.
Kelly's not done, though. He's going to take a look now to out the middle groove of the racetrack, and car number 6, he's trying to go back after Brotherton. Got 1 car coming down pit road, but the battle for 5th is the one we are all keeping our eyes on right now. And Mike Kelly, boy, he has had a solid run tonight, but starting to fall back, as that's Marinac, as a matter of fact. Marinac pits from 3rd with 31 laps to go.
Marinac must be in his window. He is probably using a short pitch strategy. If this thing goes green, his strategy could work out. We will keep an eye on that and see if the other leaders will follow suit shortly here from Kentucky Motor Speedway, as this has just been great racing so far.
We're waiting to see what the leaders do. It's about 0.8 of a second right now. 2 tires going on the Marinac machine, and he'll be down and away the fast 24. Getting ready to roll back onto the racetrack as everybody waiting to see what Bobby Terrell is going to do. Coming up on 3/4 of distance here, and trying to see, we're waiting, and it does not look like the 14 of Bobby Terrell going to pit this time either, so he will stay out 1 more lap, complete 78. 30 laps to go here from Kentucky Speedway, the Bluegrass State. And Bobby Terrell looking to ice a championship in the Muscle Milk number 14 with his 3rd win of Season 3 for ITSR intensely twisted sim racing, rounding out the season, crowning a champion tonight. Terrell still leading by 3/4 of a second, working some lap traffic. That's the 55 of John Hensley going to go down another lap here and allow the 26 of Scott Simley to close a car length or 2. Back on the 14 of Terrell. They cross the stripe. We put 79 laps up on the board.
Interesting note, Sergio Bella has found his way back into the top 10 after getting that penalty. He is not giving up. He knows he has a fast car and he wants to get back in this race. He had a car that was contending for the win before all things went bad for him, and he is proving a point here as he has made his way back up to 9th already. And who knows, we get a caution. Sergio Bella could be in this thing for the win.
We get a caution, and Stefan Marinak is going to be kicking himself for short pitting because he's pinned a lap down right now. Would have to take a wave around, and he'd be in big trouble right there. Scott Simley closing the gap just a little bit, knocked 2 100ths off it last time by the 55 of John Hensley. He's trying to pick that lap back up that the 14 of Terrell just took from him as we completed 80, looking for 81 laps going in the books this time. And the all-important question, when will Bobby Terrell come down pit road?
And the 66 car finally takes it behind the wall. The damage of the walls have finally gotten to him, shame there. But the battle will heat up again for the 5th position. Wait, the 3 cars actually pulling away from the 6th car here at Kentucky. The 6th car just had a little bit of a moment there as the 6 and the 3 battle has simmered down here from Kentucky, and it seems as though Scott Brotherton is pulling away with it.
Scott Brotherton's pulled away by about a second now on Mike Kelly, so that battle seems to have subsided as the 55 machine coming low. John Hensley trying to make a move on the race leader, pick up one of those laps. He's not going to do it. Bobby Terrell continues to now extend the lead. It's 1.1 seconds over the 26 of Scott Simley as they work off turn number 2. Terrell just so dominant tonight, trying to close off an 8-race run where he's not finished outside of the top 10, only 1 finish outside of the top 5, and it'd be his 3rd win of the season if he could pull it off. We're coming this time to 35. Check that, 25 laps to go.
25 laps to go in a championship season for Bobby Terrell. Bobby Terrell has just drove so great these mile and a halfs, and in any NASCAR series, mile and a halfs, if you can do good there, there's a good chance you're going to win the championship. And Bobby Terrell has done just that, as he has not taken no for an answer in any of these races. He has a strategy. We like to call it the Bobby Terrell strategy. He sits there early run of the race, sits there in about 3rd or 4th, waits for the leaders to get squirrely and hurt themselves, and he'll take advantage and just pull away with the race. He's done that a lot this season, and he's doing it again here today at Kentucky.
I think Webster's would call that a Terrellism, Petey, but there you go. There's your word for the night. And I think Bobby Terrell would agree if he can hang on to win this race. He'll take that. He'll take a championship trophy, too. Working lap number 85. It'll be 23 laps to go. Next time by Terrell over Simley. The gap now 1.3 seconds. As we look further back in the pack, just 10 cars left on the lead lap now. Marinak is up to the 11th position, and still we wait for the 14 to come down pit road.
Mike Kelly, the number 6 car, is going to bring it down pit road this time by, waving to the drivers, telling him he is going to bring it into the pits as he pulls his number 6 car down low. Simley is in along with Kevin Stone, a whole bunch of leaders pitting here from Kentucky. It'll be interesting to see how many tires they take compared to the number 24 of Stephen Marinak.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting, and I think it may have just forced Bobby Terrell's hand. You don't want to give up that much time on old tires. I would imagine we'll see Terrell in just a moment. Simley on pit road, waiting. It's going to be at least 2 tires. Right side's going on the number 26 machine. He's down and away.
Number 6 of Mike Kelly also going with the just 2 tire strategy. I think this almost forces Bobby Terrell to have to take 2 tires when he comes down pit road, because all the other leaders have. If he takes 4, he will have lost way too much time to these guys.
He's already losing time because he's giving up track time on old tires compared to these guys with new tires. I don't see it right here. I know you want to win a race, but I don't see it. Unless you catch a caution here in the final 20 laps, which the way this race has gone green for long stretches, I don't see it. I don't understand why Bobby Terrell has stayed out this long. I don't think it's going to win in the race at all. It's bizarre to me. It almost feels like the same thing we've seen a couple other times this season from various divisions here on the iRacing service. If you stay out too long, Petey, we talk about it. The tires cliff, and then you start giving up so much time. You're out of it at that point.
Another thing I've learned from these iRacing divisions is you don't question Bobby Terrell. He's so smart when it comes to these. He must know something we do not. Maybe he was going to try to stretch it on gas, or maybe he was just going to take a splash and go he pits. We don't know, but we will find out soon, as Bobby Terrell can't possibly have too much gas, I don't think, unless there's no way he can.
No, Terrell can't make it to the end. We know that for sure. He's going to have to stop at some point. I think everybody else may have short pitted in order to try and force his hand, see if they couldn't win this race. But right now, Terrell just doing exactly what he has to do. 19 laps remaining here at Kentucky. It's going to be interesting. J. Randall Watkins is now the second place man, but he is 7.5 seconds behind. Scott Brotherton third, Gale Brooks fourth, and Jeremy Bazemore in fifth. Sergio Abella sixth, the last car on the lead lap as Scott Simley, Stefan Marinak, the first two cars a lap down in seventh and eighth. They took two tires, and we're just waiting for the leader to pit as we've got trouble, hard. One car into the wall in turn number 2. Trying to see a car number on it. It is the 25 machine of David Correa. And, okay, Petey, I'll give you that. I will give you that. Bobby Terrell knew something that we did not. I don't know how he knew that caution was coming, but I have to admit, bravo. That was impressive.
Is the replay shows up here on LSRTV, and the best part for Bobby Terrell is Scott Simley did not quite get a chance to unlap himself, and this will be the real winner in all this. I would not say is Bobby Terrell. Sergio Abella with the lightning fast 129 will be able to come down pit road and come out at least 6th. He has just gotten so lucky here. And the nice things for these 6s, since there's only 6 of them, and the worst you can go back is the 6th, they can take 4 tires. And Bobby Terrell knew something that we didn't.
Yeah, oh, by the way, Bobby Terrell can come down pit road and take 4 tires now, and the rest of the leaders that pitted under that cycle of green flag stops are on 2. So I think that the Muscle Milk number 14 is pretty well on his way at this point, unless J. Randall Watkins or Scott Brotherton has anything left, and if they do, boy, they need to show it on this restart, because I've seen nothing that indicates that 14 is slowing down by any stretch.
Well, like these last few restarts, we've noticed that Bobby Terrell's fallen back to about 3rd or 4th each time. It's taken him about 20 laps to get back, as we are going to bring the CJ Lavera Mobile up into this booth. He wrecked out early in the race. And CJ, glad to have you up here with us, man. What went wrong?
We're just in the wrong place, the wrong time. Guy underneath us just pushed up a little bit and tagged us in the left rear and stuffed her in the fence.
That's a tough break. He looked like he had a really strong car. Qualified 3rd, fell back a little bit, was very early in the race. He could have came back and fought. Do you think if you could have stayed in the race, you would have had anything for the number 14 of Bobby Terrell, who has seemed to dominate this thing?
We sure would like to think we would have. We definitely would have gave it a try. We would have been there at least. We were saving the car for the end, and you never know what you're gonna have. It's one of those deals.
Yeah, CJ, and that's a real tough break. You've had a great season, and looks like Bobby Terrell has everything locked up. But you've just driven some great races, such as last week with your comeback, but it looks like there will be no comeback tonight.
Nah, it's one of those deals. We won't be able to get her fixed. We put her on the trailer and head out to next week, Kentucky, and we'll see what we got from there. I gotta thank all my sponsors here, I.T.S, Actual Sanitaries, HippyPaintShop for my awesome, beautiful cars, LSRTV for the broadcast. Gotta thank all my admins, Steve and Doug and Stefan and Jose for all the great work here, and all my drivers. Pretty good stuff here.
It's been fun, CJ. We appreciate you taking a couple minutes to come up here and talk with us. Disappointing end to your night, but we'll look forward to seeing you back next week.
Oh, definitely. We'll see you guys on hopefully getting here.
That's CJ LeVere, driver car number 4. He will end up ultimately 22nd here tonight. Update from pit stops. We thought the leaders would take advantage, be able to take 4 tires here. Instead, they will take 2, led by Bobby Terrell, who will jump back to position number 1 for this restart. And we're going to see at least, it looks like 5 wave-around cars. Scott Simley, Stefan Marinak, Mike Kelly, Brian Harvey, Terry McEwen. So we should line up with about 11 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing. PD, Bobby Terrell, J. Randall Watkins going to make up the front row, and I'm actually a little surprised. I expected the leaders would go ahead and take 4, make sure there was no question. Instead, 2 tires, probably still a race-winning call, but I just find the decision a little interesting that when you have the opportunity under caution to take 4 that they didn't.
Well, actually, Bobby Terrell is the only one who took 2 tires. Everyone else took 4, so Bobby Terrell is the mouse in a house full of cats right now because everyone around him has 4 tires, and Bobby Terrell might be biting his nails now, thinking he made the wrong strategy call here because he is now the only one on 2 tires out of everyone in the top 6.
What was that you said to me earlier though, PD? Don't doubt Bobby Terrell.
You're right, I shouldn't go against my own saying, and I know if I do now, it's going to come back to bite me, but interesting call, and I'm just looking back there at that fast car of Sergio Avella, but, you know, you never know. Bobby Terrell might know something we don't.
He knew something we didn't about the caution. If he knows something we don't about the tire strategy, I'm going to go ask him where his crystal ball is. Right now, under caution, we are going to complete 94 of 108 laps here this time by. It'll be 14 to go at the stripe, 13 laps to go, it appears, when we get the restart, as the wave-around car is going to pass the pace car, and this field getting ready to double up for a green flag restart. It'll be 13 laps remaining at Kentucky.
Yes, as Bobby Terrell will lead him down with 2 tires and everyone else has 4. Should be interesting to see how this plays out. Maybe the veteran skill of Bobby Terrell will carry this race on his back. Who knows? But both these drivers want the trophy. Actually, all these drivers want the trophy. There are about 11 hungry drivers on the lead lap at this point, and each of them have one thing on their mind. Let's get the trophy and head into next season. And this should be an insane last 15 or so laps here from Kentucky, as we're about to settle out for the Seattle SLU 108.
Yeah, we are. The Seattle SLU Memorial getting ready to go the distance. Just 13 laps to go when we get the green flag. It'll be Bobby Terrell on the inside to the outside. J. Randall Watkins in that black and gold number 2. You got Scott Brotherton in 3rd in the 3 car. He's made a nice rebound tonight. You've got Gale Brooks in the 4th spot. Nobody expected him to make a comeback. He's got a nice run going. And you've got Sergio Abella in the 5th spot. A remarkable drive from that machine. He's up to 5th after a penalty as the iRacing Ford First Mustang pace car hits the pit lane, leaves the field in the hands of Bobby Terrell. Wheel to wheel, green flag in the air. Terrell is gone. He gets the jump. He gets the lead. It's side by side for 2nd, back to turn 1.
These guys want to settle out quick. They cannot let Bobby Terrell get too far away, because if they do, he is gone. As J. Randall Watkins and Scott Brotherton race side by side to decide who's going to be the one to chase down Bobby Terrell, and Scott Brotherton wants it more right now as he dives it off of turn number 2, and he is clear of the number 2 car, as he will now try to track down Bobby Terrell. He has 4 tires, Bobby Terrell has 2. Drama unfolding as we have close to 10 laps to go in this great season.
The Miller Genuine Draft number 2 machine is not quite done. J. Randall Watkins coming back to the inside. Brotherton says no way. The CJR number 3, he is going forward, back to the front. It is half a second, 5 car lengths as they work off turn number 2, and we've just got 11 laps to go in the Seattle SLU Memorial as 1 car sideways. That's the 129 of Sergio Abella. He's had an eventful night.
And he will make the pass in the 76 car, and Sergio Abella is going too. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen in these final few laps. I don't know if you do, but boy, are we in for one show, because they are catching Bobby Terrell, and Bobby Terrell might be, you know, biting his nails a little bit right now, thinking what I could have done if I took 4, but he's still in the lead. And, well, like we've been saying a lot tonight, never question Bobby Terrell.
I'm not questioning it yet. I'm questioning him if they get to his back bumper. That's what they're trying to do. It's going to be 10 laps to go in the Seattle SLU Memorial. When we get back to the start-finish line, Scott Brotherton trying to close in the number 3 machine. He crosses the stripe. Actually, Terrell a little bit quicker last time by. Extends the gap to 47 100ths of a second as J. Randall Watkins in the Miller Genuine Draft number 2 drops a little further back. He's almost a second behind in third. The battle's on from there, but Terrell, right now, he's proven 2 tires could be the difference.
Yeah, and we've noticed on the restarts tonight, 2 tires will stand up for about 5 to 7 laps. But after them 5 to 7 laps, they will fall off quite a little bit, and then the guy behind the 2-tire car will catch up. Example, Jeremy Bazemore early in the race took 2 tires. And whenever the 2 tires started wearing off, Blake Reynolds and Bobby Terrell caught him in a matter of about 3 laps. So at about lap 103, I expect to see the second place car start closing in. It's just if Bobby Terrell can pull away enough between now and then.
I'm smelling him pulling away enough right now. He gapped Scott Brotherton by a full 1/10 of a second last time by. It's now almost 6/10 of a second, 6 car lengths. They cross the stripe. There's 8 laps to go, and he extends it another 1/10. It's now 65 100ths of a second. Bobby Terrell on 2 tires is pulling away.
Bobby Terrell showing us why he's the champion here tonight. But even if he still will hold down the win and Scott Brotherton gets second, I don't want to take anything away from Scott Brotherton. He's done a great job all night to get this car up to second, and it's just been a staple night for him, and same with J. Randall Watkins, although Sergio Abella is closing in quite fast on J. Randall Watkins here in the closing laps of the season.
Yeah, Abella may be able to pull a podium out of this. That's going to be the battle for third. 7 laps remaining. It's 3/4 of a second now between Bobby Terrell and Scott Brotherton. And Brotherton seeing a win start to slip away. This time by 6 laps to go, 9 miles, and the battle, I think, is going to be for third before they get to the checkered flag.
Abella, first race last week, third. This week, second race, he wants to get third again, but it will not be as easy this week. He's going to have to catch J. Randall Watkins, and if he does get by J. Randall Watkins, he's going to have to hold off Scott Simley. Scott Simley's strategy call did not work out for him one bit here at Kentucky, but he still can get maybe a top 3 out of this. We don't know, but this battle for third is going to be insane in these closing laps as these 3 just keep getting closer and closer to each other.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the 14 machine is doing what he's done all season. Pull away. 5 laps to go from Kentucky. It's now a full second for Bobby Terrell. Scott Brotherton, J. Randall Watkins has started to pull away. It's half a second between he and Sergio Abella for that for the third position rather. Scott Simley's closing for 4th here in the final laps.
Right now, Bobby Terrell put one arm on the armrest and just looking in the mirror laughing because he knows if this race goes his way, he has the win to close the championship. As we're going to go back to the battle for 4th, is Sergio Abella and the 26 car of Scott Simley race side by side.
They
as
touch.
The 1 car is Jeremy Bazemore waits in the wings as they're beating and banging here at Kentucky in the final laps of the season. And looks like Scott Simley's going to clear him. Does he have enough time to catch J. Randall Watkins? J. Randall Watkins pulled away through that battle, but Sergio Abella's not giving up.
The crossover down the back straightaway. It'll be 3 laps to go when they get to the stripe. Here comes Abella one more time on him. They touched last time down the front straightaway. They touch again off turn number 4. Simley gets a little bit loose. Bazemore's watching this going, oh, come on, guys, don't wreck in front of me. 3 laps to go for the leaders now as they cross the stripe, and here comes Bazemore for the top 5 spot in 1.
Bazemore on the outside of Abella. Abella thinks he's fought too hard this race. He does not want to give up the top 5. He will race hard with Bazemore as they almost touch and they're side by side, but Bazemore is the run coming off of 4. Bazemore is now into the 5th position and Sergio Abella is forced to pull in, and now we will see if Scott Simley can close in on the 2 car. Does he have enough laps this time by? There will be just 2 to go. Can he get there? He's catching them so fast, but will there be enough time?
Yeah, that's the question, and the tires have started to falter a little bit for Bobby Terrell, but it's a 1.5 seconds as they work through turn number 2. Scott Brotherton's going to have to settle in this one. That battle for 4th and 5th, though, Scott Simley and Bazemore.
Scott Simley is starting to close in, but man, I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch the 2 car because the 2 car is starting to pull away a little bit again. It's just going to be too little too late for Scott Simley, it seems, and I'm going to take it up front to Bobby Terrell because it's just been a great season for Bobby Terrell. He takes a white flag on this season and on this championship, and I'm going to give it off to Jacob to finish this race off.
Yeah, Bobby Terrell, a brilliant drive as he works off the back straightaway, a 2.5 seconds in hand. It's going to be his 3rd win of the season, and it's going to be the icing on the cake for ITSR Season 3. The B-Car Series works off the final corner. The season is over. A winner is crowned and a champion is crowned, and both titles tonight going to Bobby Terrell as he crosses the checkered flag. He wins here at Kentucky. Scott Brotherton 2nd, J. Randall Watkins in 3rd, Scott Simley 4th, and Jeremy Bazemore rounds out the top 5. Sergio Abella does fall in 6th. Gail Brooks, Stephen Marinac, Terry McEwen, Brian Harvey, the rest of the top 10. And what a performance by the Muscle Milk number 14 of Bobby Terrell. He said, I'm not losing this championship. I'll just go out and show you how it's all done. And he picks off his 3rd win of the season. All 8 starts this season in the top 10. That's remarkable.
I take back what I said about Scott Simley not getting there. Scott Simley got to the number 2 car, and it was a drag race for 3rd, but he needed about 200 more feet.
Yeah, he did. It was tight, but Simley made the move off 4. Not quite enough, though. He'll settle for a top 5 finish, and Bobby Terrell's not doing any settling. He's going to pull the burnout, go to victory lane. We'll hear from him after this. It's the post-race show from Kentucky Speedway. Right after this, this is LSRTV, and we'll be back from the Bluegrass State. Welcome back to LSRTV. Here, the post-race show for Intensely Twisted Sim Racing from Kentucky Speedway. Jacob Seelman, Petey Zeller here in the broadcast booth, and now down on the pit lane as we catch up with some of tonight's top finishers. First up, the 3rd place man who just barely held off Scott Simley for that 3rd position. J. Randall Watkins comes home 3rd. Drag race to the line. Brilliant drive for you, Randall, and you just barely hang on for that 3rd spot. But what was the difference between you and fighting for a win tonight?
Well, I knew for sure that I was never going to catch Bobby. He's just so smooth at this track that, just staying with him is a win for me. And so I just gave up on that. And actually, I kind of gave up trying to catch 2nd. I was just going to try to hang on to 3rd and almost gave that away there at the last lap.
Yeah, fight by Scott Simley all the way to the line, but you do hang on to it. Close Season 3 on a very strong note. Does this give you guys some momentum headed into the final season of competition here?
It definitely does. I mean, Kentucky's always been one of our good tracks, but we've never had the finishes to show for it. And tonight, I'm just glad we could close it out the way we knew we could.
And it was a solid run for you and the number 2 crew. I know you can't do it by yourself, so give some sponsors and shout-outs. Who makes it happen?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody at LSRTV. You guys do a great job putting on the broadcast. And I'd like to thank everybody here at ITSR, along with the drivers, too. I mean, this is a great group of guys to run with. And I definitely have to thank my teammates, the Back Row Motorsports, Rich Jett, John Wilco, Steve Herring, and Gail Brooks. I mean, that team's what makes me the driver that I am.
Solid run for you, Randall. Congratulations. Come up on the podium tonight, 3rd for you and the Miller crew. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Headed on up the grid, second place tonight going to be the Scott Brotherton machine. He comes up the number 3 in position number 2. And Petey Zeller, I believe you're going to be over there to talk with Scott.
I have caught up with Scott Brotherton, the 3-car man. You did an excellent job tonight. You fought your way through that field multiple times, and you reward yourself with a second place run. And I gotta ask you, man. So come to that final restart. You're sitting in third, I believe, and you're looking down Bobby Terrell. Do you think you have anything for Bobby Terrell?
Well, first of all, congrats to Bobby. He's fast and he deserves a championship. But no, on that restart, I really just wanted to get to second. I knew I didn't have anything for him, and I drove in as hard as I could in turn 1, and luckily it stuck, and I got by Randall there and was able to just hang on for second.
You did an excellent job driving. Like, can you take us through your race a little bit?
It wasn't bad. After the first pit stop, some guys took 2, and I got shuffled back to about 10th, and was able to get back up to 7th. And I'm typically not too good here on the long run. For some reason, I couldn't get it figured out, and towards the end of the race, I was just getting in a groove, and the caution fell at the right time for me because I was committed to staying out and just getting a splash of fuel, and it just came out for the right time, and for me to end up in third on that final restart.
Well, definitely a great run by you tonight. And before I let you go, do you have any people or sponsors you would like to thank here?
Yeah, DJI Phantom. They make drones that work with GoPro cameras, and Go Mount, and just thanks to everybody on my team. #Motorsports.
Great run by you, but now it is time. Jacob Seelman has went up to victory lane where the party is at. Bottles are popping, and it's just insane down there. And Bobby Terrell, the champion, is with Jacob Seelman on victory lane.
Yeah, I expected to get this to get to do this first with Bobby over with RSR, but I'll tell you, tonight it's not just a win, it's a championship for Bobby Terrell here with Intensely Twisted Sim Racing, the Season 3 champion. And Bobby, you get your 3rd win of the year tonight at Kentucky. Really solid run for you, and I will be one of the ones to admit I didn't think there was any way 2 tires was the way to go on that final pit stop and run to the finish. You proved us all wrong. 2 tires held off 4. Talk about that run to victory lane.
Well, I mean, I got beat, Tuesday night by them doing that. So I just thought I'd try it and see what happened. It was a good race overall. Took a gamble, and it paid off. So I had a little luck too, so I'll take it.
A win for you, obviously capping off an impressive run here during Season 3. You don't finish outside the top 10 once. 3 wins, 7 top 5s en route to the title. How much momentum does this give you headed towards the final stretch of the season?
Yeah, it gives me good momentum. I mean, I had a good Season 3, so going into Season 4, I'm hoping to keep that momentum going and carry it on.
You certainly carried it on tonight, capped off a championship crown in style, and I know none of that's possible by yourself. So take us through the sponsors and supporters. Who makes it happen for Bobby Terrell?
Well, Muscle Milk, of course, and then HippyPaintShop. And, all the guys at I.T.S for putting this on. Steve, CJ, Hippie, and Stefan, and then of course Lard, LSRTV, and then you guys in the booth. I mean, it wouldn't be possible if you guys weren't doing it. So thanks.
Congratulations, Bobby. Pick off the win, take home the big prize, Season 3 champion. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
That's Bobby Terrell down here in Gatorade Victory Lane, the winner and the champion tonight at Kentucky. Really quickly, Petey, we'll run through the final finishing order and get your final thoughts. Terrell, of course, getting the win. Scott Brotherton, J. Randall Watkins, our podium. Scott Simley, Jeremy Bazemore, Sergio Abella, Gail Brooks, Stephen Marinac, Terry McEwen, and Brian Harvey, the rest of the top 10, Petey. From 11th on back, it was no contest. We had 11 cars finish on the lead lap, and it was very much an attrition race tonight.
And looking through the final finishers, I see a few guys in there who gave challenges. Mike Pelly was running up in 3rd, I think, late in the race, but things just obviously didn't go his way. I don't see quite what happened, but he must have had some sort of problem. Blake Reynolds, obviously he was contending for the win early on, then he had his problems. CJ LeVere was contending for the win and had his problems. It just Kentucky, that's all I have to say about it. It was just Kentucky tonight, and it paid off for some drivers and it didn't for others. And Bobby Terrell knew what he was doing, dominated this race, led 69 laps, and just pure Bobby Terrell style, won the race in the championship.
Yeah, he did. So one more time for ITSR and Intensely Twisted Sim Racing here from Kentucky Speedway. One more set of congratulations to Bobby Terrell. He wins the Seattle Slough Memorial 108 and takes home the Season 3 B-Car Series Championship from the Bluegrass State. For PD Zeller and our executive producer, Laura Lawson, I'm Jacob Seelman. Keep it off the wall until we meet again, race fans, and we'll see you next time on the web. Good night, everybody.